not a second-hand coat. I want a yacht, not a cheap little boat. I tell my daddy not to be depressed. All I need for happiness is the best. I want a diamond, nothing else has appeal. And when it comes to men, you know how I feel. I want a real man. Give me a real man, you know what I mean. I want a real man. Oh, real man, you're what I need.
Hey guys, what's up?
What's going on? There's a lot of talking out here.
Are you ready for the show?
A little chilly? You gonna pop a nip?
Pop a nip. Hey, what's up? Welcome to Real Men. I'm your host, Tim Steeves. We have a hot one planned for today, so let's meet the panelists. Chuck Byrn dropped in. Chucky Byrn!
What time is it?
Good to see you, man. Also joining us today, the lovely and talented Krista Sutton.
Hello, how are you?
Nice to see you, Krista.
Nice to be here.
And the effervescent, lovely, talented Dwayne Hill is here.
I am also British, but I do not know what time it is as well.
Okay, Dwayne. Prepared a little something for his intro. I like it. And Ryan Belleville's with us. Good to see you, Ryan.
Nice to see you.
And that's how we're going to get the show started. We'll kick it over to Ryan Belleville for a commentary. He'll set the table on the topic. Go ahead, big fella.
All right, let's talk about a bit about the rave culture and the rave scene, folks. Well, are the ravers of today, the long-haired, hippie, dope-smoking friends of Jesus of yesterday, have we evolved into basically the same kids with the same problems, raging against society in some way, saying, damn the man, and we're going to dance and do drugs while damning the man, having a fun old time. We'll forget about why we damned the man, but damn it, we'll have fun. I think that the rave scene isn't really anything political at all. I think some people would say it is, some people would say it isn't. I think it's just a chance for guys to go out and let loose and dance because they're high and they don't care how stupid they look because they're so out of it. And whereas the hippies, they might have had a point. But today, I don't think there is any point. I don't think that somebody's out there dancing going, man, I'm kicking this one for abortion right now. Nobody's dancing for issues. It's none of that. It's just a chance for people to party, do drugs, and have fun. I don't know. What do you think about that, Tim?
I think that sounds good, buddy. Grab some cushion. So it's just the, you know, what is it? Just the ecstasy and orange juice, Dwayne? Are the kids just having fun? Should we just leave them alone?
Well, yeah, it seems like, I feel like governments they really don't seem to mind when people go to raves because I don't think there's a lot of fights. I think it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't know when you go to a rave. Like, if they know there's going to be 2,000 people partying there, yes, it's illegal, but at least you're not spreading them out across. Everyone scatter!
You say governments don't care about
I don't think
these
they
raves?
do. I was amazed to find out when there was like a couple of rave deaths that the city actually leases out city space for raves on a regular basis.
Did I miss something? Were they trying to shut them down?
Initially, they tried to shut them down. They couldn't shut them down because
How
are you going to stop people from who want to have a party from having it? You're not going to. So the city's decided, well, what we'll do is instead of sending them way underground, we'll license them, and that way, hopefully, we'll be able to keep the drugs out. We'll be able to reassure parents a little bit more.
Before we go any further, what would be the definition of a rave? Anybody?
I think the idea of a rave is basically, the concept originally is just a party. You know, it's just a pure kind of underground party. It's not...
All ages.
All ages, anybody who wants to come and just have fun. And that was kind of the allure to it, that it was underground. That you just...
Well, they're calling them, in the beginning, they were calling them all ages parties because, of course, a lot of them aren't serving booze.
Yeah.
So it just looked like a big happy party.
The first rave I went to, I think, was in like 1990. It was a long time ago. And I remember we talked about going underground. We bought a map off a hot dog vendor that led us to a guy sitting on a street corner who sold us wristbands. And the wristbands had these other maps on them. We went to this doorway. We walked, through this building, down 3 flights of stairs. We ended up with 2,000 people dancing in this place.
Yeah. And now we've blown it because let's take them out of the underground.
By the time they're asking the mayors about raves, it's not a rave anymore.
It's not cool to bring them.
Well, I think the idea of it was that it was underground. And it's not underground anymore.
It's like when you hear some hip-hop terminology on a Gap ad, like Ryan says, you know that it's not the coolest
I think khakis are
anymore.
whack.
Yeah. When I start quoting gangsta rap, it's pretty much the death nail of gangsta rap.
You're so pimp.
And when the rave, you can go to any store and get rave fashion. Hey, Krista, why don't you try on these pants? They're very rave.
Yeah,
and then I can attach all my little, keychains and wings and little tiny boa pig things. I don't know what they
Keep
are.
going.
The baby soother. What's with the baby soother, Ryan? I see these
baby
dudes going to the rave with the soother.
I think it's just trying to be stupid. Well, first of all, I mean, if you're high, you're attracted to stupid stuff. Now, and so I don't think a baby
Insulin soother.
Hey, don't enough to be stupid.
Suddenly you're so attractive to me.
Now the story is that with the baby soother. The baby soother originally was pumped out there by the anti-abortion campaign, and I don't think these kids apparently. That was the story. Knew that, so they're all carrying around this anti-abortion.
Where would they meet?
It's preventative.
I was walking through
grinding your
Kansas,
teeth.
and all these anti-abortionists were having a rave.
No, but remember when all those baby suitors? I mean, I don't know if that's a conspiracy theory or whatever.
It sounds like it's like back into the left.
This is what I heard. So that people were walking around, carrying the symbol of.
Well,
Okay, well, whatever.
I thought they just chomped on the soother because they were so stoned.
Yeah, well,
exactly.
Keep you from grinding your teeth down to nubs.
Yeah, I mean, you're all baked onto the X and you're just sucking on a
use a
soother.
baby
I thought that was
soother?
the deal.
I think people just also but beyond the drugs. I know that not everybody goes to it's totally whacked, although the large majority of them are. But it's just the idea of getting to let loose, because you have your job or you're whatever stressed out of school, and you can just go to a place and do act as stupid as you want. No one's gonna look at you like you freak. You can show up with bunny ears and
true.
Like I did a gig where I was dressed as a baby and I wore like a diaper as for New Year's Eve 2000, and I was a New Year's baby for the outdoor concert, and then I went to a giant party afterwards. Everyone's like, "Hey man, this is the baby. He's wicked. He's the hit of the party."
He's like the hit.
Yeah.
You can.
I'm wetting my pants right now, and I'm the coolest
guy here.
I did. I saw a documentary on it, and this girl was kind of leading through the documentary people, saying it's all about loving one another and accepting one another and all that
But
kind of
that's
stuff.
what people
And
say
hey,
when they're stoned.
Well, yeah. So if that's really what it's about, yeah. But if you're completely
Those are
whacked,
final thoughts, Krista. Thanks. That's our first segment. We're going to take a break, sell some stuff. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Danny Kumer. He's a stag dude. He organizes stags and stuff, and we're going to talk stags on Real Men, where men get real. We're coming back.
I agree with you.
Hey, welcome back to the show. We're joined this segment by Danny Kumer. Thanks for coming in, Danny.
Pleasure.
Good to see you, buddy. Danny organizes stags, and that's the topic for this segment. So let's get Chucky Byrn to set the table. Go ahead, Chuck.
The stag party. A tradition, perhaps. A rite of passage for some. Should you have a stag party? Maybe. What kind of stag party should you have? There are the stag parties that's just a group of guys playing cards and having a nice evening. Then there's a stag party with prostitutes, plenty of liquor, and a secret covenant at the end of the evening to avoid manslaughter charges. Which one should you have? Should you have one? If you're getting married at 35 and you've spent the last 15 years going to strip joints and getting drunk anyway, you might not need a stag party. But if you're 21, you just signed up for the Navy, and you're getting married, maybe you should have a little bit of a piss-up. Tim, what do you think?
Thanks, Chuck. Good job, buddy. You did indeed set the table. We're talking stags. Chuck's posed a couple of key questions. Thanks for coming in, Danny.
My pleasure.
So how did you become a guy who organizes stags, man?
It's mostly about organizational skills, I think.
You have Candy's number on your fridge, right?
Exactly, a magnet. It's just something that came about. My buddies asked me to organize a few stags, and then it just blossomed, and now I pretty well organize every stag I go on. I should start off by saying, when I say a stag, they're normally trips. They're more elaborate than an average dinner.
They're roadies? A little bit of road trip, you mean?
You can either be a road trip, Mount Tremblant, or you take a plane. You go to Vegas, you go to Aspen, you go to Mardi Gras, things like that.
Right.
So these are the types of stag that generally.
So the first question out of your mouth would be budget. What kind of dough do you have?
That's the most difficult part, is collecting the money from everybody. Everybody wants to go. Nobody wants to pay.
Everybody's saying Nollins. Nollins sounds great.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I've been on a couple of stags, and every time I've forked out a lot of money, and I know that there's a few people who've walked away not forking out very much.
unbelievable.
Well, that's something.
It's a problem everywhere you go, though. You go out for dinner with a group of guys, some guy's going to, I had a light beer.
So before we go any farther, though, basically what you're telling us is that you are, me as a woman, my worst nightmare. Because basically what you're doing is planning this last blowout, and you're also probably getting the papers that they all sign saying, we will never tell our wives and
pact.
girlfriends. The pact.
What happens at the stags?
I
Neil,
hope put that in writing.
That brings up an
crazy?
interesting point, a very interesting point. if that's why a stag is being planned so you can have a last blowout and do things that you wouldn't be allowed to do when you're married, you shouldn't be getting married.
Oh, stag party with morals. I like that.
But,
Yeah.
But,
Or you should be marrying twins.
or you should be marrying twins.
Go ahead.
But there's always, see, I take it as part of my responsibility also on the stag, not to allow things to turn dark, to go over that line.
Right.
Do they,
don't wanna end up-
really charge you with that
Don't
responsibility?
stab
If
her.
they say, "Will you make sure that I don't,
I just adopt the
involve-"
responsibility because once you make sure there's tons of booze and drugs and girls around, then you have to make sure you don't cross the line.
So you go on all these.
Danny,
they're all for my
but
buddies.
for a lot
Have
of
you-
women,
I don't
booze
charge.
and drugs and girls.
But you know what? For a lot of women,
how do
if
you ever get
if
this
you have
gig?
those 3 at your stag party, you've already crossed the line.
Well, yeah, but they
Well,
need
that's
to
the
lay
issue.
down.
More importantly, to clone you, would that be expensive? Just so I can have my army of stag people. I'm feeling logy this weekend. Dwayne, you need Vegas. Norlands, both you stag people, calm down. You get drugs, you get women. It sounds like absolutely like it's like you know all the people to talk to in the major cities in the world. Well, it's like, hey, let's go to a museum. After the prostitutes.
That's another interesting point, actually. Technology has allowed any of us here in this room could plan a great stag simply from the privacy of your own
Internet.
internet. Exactly. The
Explain
convergence
this in
of-
thorough detail.
Danny, can you tell us about like one of the more elaborate ones you've planned? Give us some details on one of the crazier ones.
well, there were these monkeys, and we shaved them. Great.
the best place to
hang
go
away.
for a stag is Vegas, definitely.
Because everything's legal.
It's Sin City. You can do whatever you want. And if you don't want to do anything, you don't have to do anything. If you want to do everything, you can do everything. And anything's available there. In terms of the most, actually, the last time I was in Vegas was, well, see, now I'm breaking
You're like
my
you're
own
sorting,
pack.
it's like
Yeah,
you're
wait a
sorting through the
minute.
secrecy agreement
Yeah,
in
now
your
I'm
head.
breaking my own pack, so I don't know.
Oh, none of those guys are going to see this show, Danny.
Yeah,
Come on,
well,
man.
this is there. It's
Nobody's
fun.
going to be watching this.
I'm sure you've been to
Come on.
Vegas more than once.
You see,
We're just a little operation.
you usually arrange a show. In terms of girls, you arrange a show. Maybe 2 girls come to a room or a house or wherever you're staying, and they put on a show. Now, they expect that after the show, they charge you a certain amount for the show. They make their real money. The show.
The show.
No touching, no nothing. They just put on a show. They expect, though, that the real money for them will be made. You look enthralled.
I've been thinking all the guys at home are like, give us website addresses. How do I plan? Because if I see a bunch of half dozen newfies sitting around a table playing cards for 6 hours while they get drunk at a stag, I'm going to kill myself. You've got the perfect stag. Go on.
Yes,
Don't
continue.
interrupt.
When you can go on the net and see a whole portfolio of pictures and actually email back and forth with these women so you know exactly what to expect and they know what to expect from you as well.
So what happens after the dancing?
After the dancing,
Good job, Ryan.
that's
Good job, buddy.
No problem.
they expect to make a lot of money because they expect guys that there are going to be guys there who
They're
are
going to be
s-
turning tricks after the show.
Exactly. They're hookers. Now,
What?
the stags that I personally have attended, most of the guys there,
You don't need to back. Are you a married
Go
guy?
ahead. Let Danny finish the
most
damn
of the
story.
guys there do not partake in the services of the prostitutes afterwards. Now, for the last time that wasn't clear. We're in Vegas, and the prostitutes tend to get very angry when no guys partake. So
So you got to
You
draw
don't want an
straws.
angry prostitute.
you don't want an angry prostitute because
No.
then you've got an angry pimp.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
this is true.
Angry pimps. Next on Real Men.
Exactly. So it was a bit of a negotiation process to get us out of a sticky situation, and I don't. And
So
We
you
can't
got
sleep
into,
with you, but
so
can we take
essentially
it
what
in
you're
or not?
saying is this stag party almost blew up because people were not going to sleep with the prostitute.
well, then you get the issue of. Well, I'll tell you a story. So one guy was going to partake, and so
We'll
he.
just call him John.
We'll don't call him John. That might, we can call him John.
Especially John Sullivan.
And you know, the prostitute takes out a condom that's pretty well a Goodyear tire that's this thick, and the pimp is in the room, and the guy couldn't get it up, and the prostitute got insulted, and it was. I'm telling you,
That's a lot of information.
It's not like you're painting the picture of paradise here either.
That's a fairly
This is-
clean
I have a
pimp.
question about that. We hear or we don't hear, and they're
Just a few
built up
seconds,
and built
go.
up and built up. Are they blown out of proportion?
It's a trip with the boys to get away.
Which I think is great.
And that's all it is. That's what it should be, and that's all it is. Occasionally, there are guys who don't have girlfriends, who don't have wives, who want to do other things, and they have to make sure it's available.
Nice job, Danny. Thanks for coming in, man. Do you want to hang around and talk to us we're talking about male strippers when we come back. You want to hang in the panel and speak to that a little bit? I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, man, if you can't get it up when the pimp is watching, well, you're in trouble. We're coming right back.
Dance.
What about male strippers? You ever go to a male strip show?
No.
Come on now.
No.
You're lying to me.
No, I haven't. Not a professional strip club, no.
Oh, so you've seen some amateur action. Private at-home service.
My mother's standing over there.
Hey, welcome back to the show. This segment, we're going to talk about male strippers. Danny Kumer has agreed to hang in. Thanks for staying around, Danny.
My pleasure.
Fascinating stuff about stags. Now we're going to talk male strippers. Let's start with Krista. Krista, have you seen a male strip show?
I've been a couple of times. It's not really my thing. I strangely like to go to watch women. They're just a little bit more beautiful to watch.
I hear
I know. You guys would love that.
Saw
I
a
know.
movie like
but
that
I actually, to tie into Danny's stuff, I had a friend who went to a stagette once. This is an awful story. I think this is why we don't have stagettes as much. Well, we do, but we don't. It's not
Just
such
tell
a big
the damn
deal.
story,
okay,
Krista.
for God's sake.
Getting the story to this panel is like pulling freaking teeth. Come on now.
For God's sake. So anyway, the guy's dancing, and the girl, the bride-to-be, gets this thing in her eye while he's dancing and kind of moving quickly.
This
and
thing?
It's wet. And the next morning she wakes up, boom, eye out to here, not even joking. She goes to the doctor, gonorrhea in her eye.
Gonorrhea.
2 days she has to walk down the aisle, and she's got an eye out to here.
Gonorrhea
Hi, Mom
in
and
the
Dad.
eye. I didn't even know that was possible.
So there's a fun little story about male
Somewhere
strippers.
there's a Spanish guy with a huge penis who's like, I think it's gonorrhea. I think that is gonorrhea. No, I think I might be spreading it. But you never know.
Male strippers, there's just too much stuff going on. I'd rather
Too
go
much stuff going on. Yeah, like you're looking anywhere else. Penis!
No.
Hey, it feels like it's burning. Stop staring so hard.
No.
Chuck, have you ever done any stripping?
It's a completely different emotion, though. If you look at guys in a strip joint, they're generally, they're told you have to be calm, you have to be polite, you have to just sit there.
Oh, yeah.
And stare.
We're not even told.
Women, it's the other way. Women, they're stirring the pot. Come on, ladies,
Yeah.
let's get crazy. Here comes the fireman.
cock. Bring it out. Bring it on. That'd be more cock or something.
Do the helicopter.
Cockfight.
Oh, I'm getting married and I need cock now. No, can you stop saying
Ryan,
that word for just a
Stop
minute?
saying that word.
Ryan, if you could not say the word we're going to have to bleep out 3 more times, that would help us in the segment, buddy. Okay, let's carry on.
Let's carry
I need some.
penis.
But it's true, it's true, Krista, women are out of their minds at a strip show, aren't they?
Well,
we sit there in gynecology row and kind of look like that.
I guess they're out of their minds.
Oh, women are. It's like, stir my drink, stir my drink. Gonorrhea of the throat. I didn't even.
No, it doesn't really. I don't know. I guess part of it is. I don't know if this is true, but aren't a lot of the male strippers gay? So for me.
That's what they say to you. I'm
Yeah,
gay.
maybe that's what they're just saying to me.
What?
I love you.
Danny, aren't you happy that you hung around now?
I just don't understand how the story about gonorrhea related to me. I just want to make it clear
Oh, no, it
that
wasn't.
I wasn't closely related to that.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
So it's just the difference between
she opened the
stags and
story by
stagettes.
saying Danny's stuff and then told a gonorrhea in the eye story. I can see where you're. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. That gonorrhea in the eye. What exactly? Nobody's asked for specifics here, but you were there. You saw
No, I
Kennedy
wasn't
get
there.
assassinated.
I wasn't there. A
What?
friend of mine was a maid of honor for the wedding. I wasn't there.
That'd have to be a lot. It'd have to be a penis would have to touch your eye.
That's what I think.
No, not necessarily.
For a while. Not necessarily osmosis.
I don't think we need
No.
necessarily
Sorry,
need to
I
explore
brought it up.
said it was
Krista's
flying
quote
through
was
the air.
something wet hit her in the
I
eye.
was trying.
You think there'd be a sneeze guard on them or something?
I'm leaving.
No.
Oh, stay. But we're going to go. We're going to come back after these messages. We're talking about male strippers and gonorrhea in the eye.
Oh,
So come back.
Your friends at home right now going, you bitch.
Hey, welcome back to the show. We've been joined today by Danny Kumer. Dude organizes stags. That's cool, man. So guy at home's watching. He wants to get something on the go. What's the first call he has to make, real quick? What are the tips? We got a couple
First thing you
minutes.
do is you go to the internet. You decide if you're going to travel or not. If you're going to travel, the internet is your best friend.
Right.
If you're not, you've decided in a restaurant you want to rent out a room. You get your buddies together. You get someone who's going to bring in gambling tables, and you have a good time. And anyone after can go to a strip joint if they want. You
Right
don't bring
on.
them in generally. You don't want the father-in-law to see the groom in this touchy situation.
Right.
We arranged a great stag in Aspen where an interesting story was we hired an escort to come put on a show, and she had a very strange request where she said nothing would go in her vagina, and we're talking toys. She was going to put on a show and play with toys, but she would put anything we wanted in her ass.
Hello. Anything.
And that's
Anything.
Very strange preference. Anything, she said anything
Paperweight.
we wanted. So we went to the grocery
Fabergé
store.
egg.
Whatever.
Fabergé leg.
We went to the grocery store, bought everything that was remotely phallic, and she ended up putting basically half the house went up her ass that night.
Where are my keys? Where's my keys? Anyone seen? I can't drive home. Shake the prostitute. There they are. I can hear the baby crying.
One at a time. One at a time. Come on.
Sometimes I wonder why I even
It was
sit
a
here.
fantastic show, and like I said before, nobody crossed the line except for her.
No, nobody crossed the line.
Unless, of course, the line could fit in her ass. In which case, it was up. She would cross the line and take it in her ass. We had to pay her to get the line back. Can I have the line back, please?
Did everybody?
As long as the line.
Just put the money in my ass.
Danny, was there like the father of the bride there checking
No.
this
He
out?
was up her ass. The father of the bride was not there. No, was not there. Was not there.
Right.
That's one of the key. I mean, if you're going to travel, generally parents don't attend.
Okay.
They'd
I
rather
would
not.
think
That's part of the
not.
allure of travel.
Honey,
Yeah.
I'm so proud of your wedding.
It's great to have parents there as well. You know, it's a different mood. It's a different mood.
I'd say it's a
Good either
different
way.
mood.
Telling me.
With half the
be good
with
either
half
way.
the try and save
This
upper
is a
bum.
little different from, let's go for a manicure and a pedicure. And then after that we could have a facial.
Let's
That's like
wrap
a
this
stay.
baby up.
no.
Oh, it's been all right. Thank you. Thanks a lot for coming out, Danny. Tthanks for coming out, man.
pleasure.
This has
Thank
been a
you.
very special episode of Real Men, where men get real. We're out.
I had to explain how a penis brushed against her eye. Brush. Stuck into.
It's not going to phase us.
Is it still there? Still in there? I'm sensing swelling.
Don't move.
It's like a tap you can't quite turn off. He's just like, dripsy, dripsy, dripsy.